Today, I want to talk about a manga named Kekkon honto desuka. Many of the rom-com manga these days deal with high school children, and thus there was a time in and around 2021 that I had been on the lookout for romance manga dealing with adults. That's when one of my friends recommended me this manga here. It translates to Are You Really Getting Married? It's created by Tamaki Wakaki, the same person who created The World God Only Knows. The manga starts out with Donald Trump. Yes, you heard me right. Donald Trump.
It's a question. I'm not going to give you a question.
Can you stay categorically?
You are fake news.
Sir.
Go ahead.
Okay, he appears only on the first panel, but as soon as I saw that first panel, I knew this wasn't going to be a typical orthodox rom-com manga. The manga introduces us to the two main characters, the male lead character being Takuya Ohara, who has a slow response time, which leads to people believe he is spacing out. The female lead character being Rika Honjoji, who has a resting, non-friendly face, shall we say, which leads to people misunderstanding her, and she herself knows that she doesn't go out of her way to be friendly with people. It's fair to say both the main characters enjoy their alone time. The first chapter also introduces us to the fact that they work in a travel company, and due to the growth in business they had, they are expanding to Irkutsk, Russia, and they are looking for someone from the Japanese branch to move to that branch, and they are prioritizing single people for the move. I know, yeah, as if single people don't have a life. This is such a common stereotype to have, isn't it? Anyway, as soon as they realize what's about to happen, they go into self-preservation mode. Takuya is trying to preserve the life that he has with his cat, who he recently rescued and had started opening up to him. Changing the environment could change things. Rika has communication issues even in Japan, the country she is most familiar with. She possibly couldn't survive in Siberia. Takuya decides he is going to quit his company over the weekend. He sees Rika on the way home. He lets her know that he's going to quit on Monday, realizing why he is doing this, and also to preserve her own solitary life. She proposes to marry each other. Truly an exemplary showcase of when you can't beat them, join them. And thus begins the fake marriage life of Takuya and Rika, and them trying to figure it all out. At first, Rika thinks of taking it all on her shoulders, thinking she has to come up with a concrete plan in order for the first spark of the fake marriage to make sense. She uses her holiday to go to Odaiba and makes up an imaginary Takuya as a date. She realizes she doesn't know anything about him and thus cannot think of anything genuine. That's when Takuya appears in front of her and makes her realize she doesn't need to do this alone. You start to realize that the characters support each other well, while at the same time respecting each other's privacy. They're trying to figure things out as they go along, and progress happens gradually, yet eventually, and they start to know more about each other. A good romance story always has elements of doubt and asks a question of why do two characters love each other and try to answer it. I believe this manga nails it when it comes to answering that question. I believe this is his best work and deserves an anime. So if for a change of pace you want a romance manga dealing with adults just like me, why don't you try this manga out? I believe Tamaki Wakaki is a good mangaka, and I hope this manga gets an anime, as I believe it deserves one. See you next time and have a good day.